What's up, everybody? Well, I got another gameplay video for you guys today on the Asus ROG and Z1 Extreme, and today we're going to try out the Outer Worlds and see how it runs. The Steam Deck, it was pretty playable. It couldn't handle it, like, obviously very high settings or anything. It gets 60, but it at least was getting like 30, 40 on high, or very high technically. That's what it defaults to on the Steam Deck. We're just going to do 1080p high and probably 900p medium and 720p low, because I doubt this thing, even on high, can handle 60. It is a little more powerful on the Steam Deck, but it's not like 400% better. Like, you'd need 400 or 500% better performance to get up to 60 from where we were at, very high on the Steam Deck. I'm not greatest at math, so I'm probably a little off there being overzealous, but it would definitely take quite a bit more than what the allies have to be able to do that. Or at least I think. Maybe I'll get owned in the face and they'll just sit there and be like, oh no, I can get like 80 to 100. The Steam Deck just hates it and Linux hates the game or whatever. That could be too. But hey, let's stop blabbing and let's go find out.
All right, so we'll start off 1080p high. If I remember correctly, it's pretty playable actually. But just like the Steam Deck on very high, I think it has its moments where it still might drop under 30. Depending on where you are, of course. There's so many different planets and places you can go. So, completely depends. But regardless, we'll get into the game and we'll get ourselves a little gameplay and then we'll go through all the other settings like we usually do. And then, of course, pop on over to the X model.
Unexpected. Searching for
That's the last of them. processing data.
Now 900p medium. Gets us a little bit better FPS. Still can't hit a constant 60 everywhere. But definitely at least stays over 30 now. At least everywhere I went that I noticed. If you want 60 plus most of the time, you're going to have to go with 720p on low. And then like 99% of the time it gets it. But I think there's still a spot here and there where you might run into some issues. But hey, let's get into the game. Let's go find out.
The control room should be off to the right. I hope you're doing the right thing. That's the last of them. Three switches. That'll be easy enough.
Oh, zip investigate.
Get ready. That's the last of them.
Last up on the Z1 Extreme here, we'll do some 720p low, which most places gets us 60 plus. In fact, a lot of the time, unless you're in a city or something, it seems to be almost right where I like it, right in the 80s to 90s. And it doesn't really look that bad on the actual screen itself. Now, it doesn't do great blown up like this, but I've also seen games that look far, far worse too. So either way, game time.
There's two more. What'll happen to Miss McDevitt's folk if we send power to the Vale?
Go away, Phantom! You're not real. You're not real.
Mind the steam. You're liable to get scalded. No!
Unexpected noise like performing an air. System alert.
The last.
Well, now we got to start all over again on the X, so we'll start off at 1080p high, just like we did on the Z1 Extreme, and go from there. And this one usually gets like 2 to 5 FPS better. Usually it's not like night and day difference, but sometimes it can be the difference between playable and unplayable for some people, so it's still a nice little upgrade. The battery life and everything else, I think, is the more important part of this particular system. Any minor performance upgrades are just a bonus on this thing. It's mostly for me the battery. That 80 watt hour battery is absolutely great. Anyway, game time once more.
That's the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail. Elsewise, I would have seen you for the snake that you are, chopped you into pieces and roasted you on a spit. This is all you're doing. Cutting off my power, killing off my garden. Without refrigeration, my food will spoil, and my flock will starve. I want to ask you this in private, away from the eyes of my flock, so they do not see me lose my temper. Tell me, why did you do it? You killed my garden, destroyed my community, sentenced my flock to a lifetime of slavery in Edgewater for a power regulator. Well, shit, I wish it was personal. Go talk to Grace and Thomas. Look them in the eye and tell them their life here is over, and the only thing left to do is go back to Edgewater. This is now your responsibility. And you tell Reed Thompson that I will never return to Edgewater. I would rather die among my flowers than live under his management. My son worked in that cannery. When the plague started coming, he was one of the first to fall sick. We had a store of medicine locked away, but Reed refused to treat him. Said my boy didn't deserve treatment. Said the medicine would have been wasted on him. So I buried my boy in the cemetery, gathered my belongings, and left. That's as much of the story as you need to hear. As long as Reed is still in Edgewater, I will not return. Those are my terms. You offering to cross Reed off, huh? This some sort of twisted reparation for what you've done? Or you just looking for a chance to sow some chaos? Kill Reed if you must, or talk him into leaving if you can. He and I are not sharing the same four walls together. Tell Reed that I can make his people healthy again. I can end their plague. Start a new garden right in the cannery. 3 square meals for every man and woman in Edgewater. Tell him how I've...
Now we shall do 900p on the X here. So, again, just like the Z1 Extreme, there's spots where it can get around 60, but lots of times where it drops into the mid 50s and high 40s too. So, still not quite, you know, what the 60 FPS people would want, but for those who just want 30 plus, this seems to do a pretty good job. And just great middle ground between graphics and frame rate, as it usually is. Glad they added this as an option.
Battleade's okay. Everybody keeps staring at me. It's not my fault the power's dead. Whoa, Miss Parvati. Hey, you're, what, how are you? Hi, hello.
Are you, are things safe out here? How are you keeping?
Great, just great. I've been trying to keep stuff running, just like you. Only I'm not so... Wait, they didn't kick you out, did they?
Oh gosh, no. I'm just along with this lady here.
I seen you wandering around here. You don't look like you're coming from town. Sorry, I just wasn't sure if you were from town or if you were one of us. Something's been chewing at me, you see. Fact is, I've been, well, lying. To everybody here. Camp thinks I'm a mechanical genius, but I couldn't fix a busted chair. I'll take all the help I can get. I set my mind to learning the craft of the engineer, you see. I want to make something of myself. You ever heard of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering? Comes in a set of 3. If I had my hands on one of those data pads, I could teach myself the ins and outs.
Those are good. My dad kept a copy with him when he was working in the cannery.
I know the old community center kept a copy. Should find another one back in town. If you could find me even one of those pads, I'd be greatly obliged. Would you? I'd be grateful. I've been thinking about going back. I'm not much use to anybody here. I get sick thinking about working at the cannery. I can't do that again. I mentioned those manuals on mechanical engineering. Suppose if I had one of those, I could go back to read and make a real case for myself. Any luck finding one of those manuals?
Marauders can't see us in the dark. Wild canids, on the other hand.
The matter's been weighing on me. Fact is, I can't go anywhere long as Zoe's missing. Disappeared without a trace. Marauders took her, I suspect. It's not like Zoe to go wandering. Figured she might be out scavenging, but that ain't exactly her talent. Can't imagine where she's gone. Vale's a wide place. She could be anywhere. Appreciate it. Honest.
What happened?
So, last up on the X here, before we get to the camera recorder gameplay, we'll do some 720p low, and it's very similar to the Z1 Extreme. Now, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I feel like the Z1 Extreme gets like some extra FPS that the X doesn't get, and sometimes better frame times, but then some other parts, sometimes the X does better. It's very strange, even though you would think the X would always win no matter what, just because it's better. But, hey, it's weird. That's why I'm glad I make these videos. Sometimes it just shows that there's almost no difference at all.
Get ready.
Alright, let's get ourselves some camera recording gameplay now. Let's see where we headed. That way? Alright, can do. I think we just have to leave, don't we? At least now I have some sound. It's no fun playing with no sound. Keep getting snuck up on by everything. It's not a good time. It's barred? How could it possibly be barred? I always get stuck in these places. There's so many different doors you can go in and out of. What are you? Oh, I'll take that. Ooh. This is good. Alright, I can't read half of that, so. Higgins? Oh, Higgins. This is just like a shower room. I don't think I can go anywhere. I can take that. I need lots of those, trust me. Nah, I'm not gonna waste my picks. Alright, we gotta get the hells out of here. Question is, how do I? Oh yeah, I remember. You gotta go through this creepy ass.
Not real. You're not real.
I hear Higgins talking, but I see no Higgins.
No, just leave me alone.
Higgins.
Go away, Phantom.
I refuse. I'm gonna find you now. Not really. I have no idea where he is.
No! No, just leave me alone.
Sounds close now.
Get away!
Ah, there he is.
You're not real. You're not real. Get away from me, Phantom. Shoot, scram. You can talk? The Phantom's never talked before. I knew I shouldn't have eaten that sprat raw. See, Higgins? This is why you must always boil your sprats before ingesting. Clearly, I mistook you for one of the phantoms of my imagination, which terrorized me on occasion.
You
Chester
wouldn't happen
T.
to have
Higgins.
schizophrenia or
The
something,
D
would you? 'Cause
stands
that
for
sounds an
definitely
awful
not
lot
insane.
like he's describing that
I use it as a
in a
reminder.
roundabout way.
Oh, Higgins has been many things over the years. Sprat Wrangler, Saltuna Critic, Aetherwave Personality, Chairman of the Board, Galactic Defender, Sisty Pig Tycoon. I've come a long way for someone who started off as a simple engineer right here in this plant. I specialized in automechanicals, drones, sentries, repaired them, maintained, upgraded, did it all from my old workroom just over in the next section. Look, I don't want to fall into any trouble with the mechanicals. If they wise up to our plans, they will come for us. With prodding irons.
I'm taking your hammer then. And your cream. I don't even know what you do with that stuff in this game. All I know is the weird stuff you huff gives you life, and that's all that matters to me. Oh, other way, other way. Here we go. Can't climb from the wrong side, that won't get you anywhere. I think I go this way now. Ah.
Oh, sweet. Here they come!
Ow, you little jerk.
We made it!
Well, I guess I haven't been in here yet. Or if I have, I must have missed him. Alright, cool. I definitely wanted to get some outside gameplay too. I don't like having be stuck in caves and inside buildings. But I just gotta play the game, and if I so happen to get stuck in there, it's what it is what it is. So let's see, can this one stay above 60 on low? Steam Deck couldn't. But maybe this one can. Alright, can I just shut this off from in here? That'd be great. No, not really. There's probably some button I have to press inside the little establishment there, and I just couldn't be bothered. Oh, no, I guess I am supposed to still be in there. Okay. Darn, I thought I was done in there. Oh, shit. Well, I guess we're not getting any outside gameplay. Lame. Oh, wait, nope, I guess maybe we just have to hit that button. Then we can go back out. Okay. I thought we were going back into the
Once we
whole
do
thing.
this, there's no going back. Excuse me, ma'am. Look, I know you want your power regulator and all, but I just gotta ask you. Do you understand what you're about to do? I don't think you should cut off Edgewater's power. I think it would be cruel. I'm sorry. that just sort of came out all at once. Edgewater's hurting. We've been losing workers year after year, and corporate hardly ever sends replacements. There's barely enough Saltuna to fill our bellies anymore. But the town's got some good people in it. Decent, hard-working folk just living their lives the only way they know how. They don't deserve to be punished. Well, that sure sounds like Mr. Thompson. If he was standing here, I imagine he'd remind us of how we're all one big, happy Spacer's Choice family. In Mr. Thompson's eyes, those deserters are still part of the Spacer's Choice family. The family must work together in order to survive. I hate to say it, but I think Mr. Thompson's got a point. Unless those deserters come back, Edgewater's as good as dead. Cutting off their power might be the only way. Sorry, I didn't mean to babble on like that. I felt like I had to say something. Really? I mean, wow. Thanks. No one's ever told me those words in that order.
Okay.
You did the rightest thing you could, sending the power back to Edgewater. A lot of people would have suffered otherwise. People I care for, even if they don't care much for me. That's on account of how I never met her. I don't rightly know. She was in another division of the Spacer's Choice family. She worked in the Vale a few months, sorting the cannery computers. Her contract said any kids she had, expected or not, belonged to her office from the time of conception. So when I was born, I got sent here. It's sensible. Dad just fixed machines. She did some kind of crazy math, high-level stuff. Better to raise me on his time than hers. You mean about the mission being too clean? I know, but Vicker says the universe is a machine, that it runs by law. Real machines have gunked up oil, scratches, and worn bits. You can tell they've seen handling, been used by folk. The machine Vicker sees is one that ain't never been run. It's not for people to live in. It's something on a museum shelf, under glass. I think there's something higher and greater than us. But I don't feel it when I'm in the mission.
Well, I see even with the power redirected, that still works. It doesn't even look that bad on the small screen. But yeah, once you get outside, that's where all the stutters and whatnot start happening. Indoors, it's really not that bad. It's actually pretty smooth, but once you get outside in this world, it just seems, even on the Steam Deck, it was stuttering. I think that was a problem with the game when it first came out too. Everybody was mad about. I'm like, yeah, I don't really like when games do that. It's not a lot of fun. Yeah, and if we're dropping down to 62 here, there's probably spots would drop under 60. Probably about my bunch though. Probably like 55 or something like that. Just a guess. Anyway, though, I think that's probably good. Why don't we move on to the X? Alright, now for some Ally X gameplay. And it led me to this house. But at least when I had it hooked up to the capture, I couldn't see a cotton picking thing. Nope, that's just the bathroom. We already read all the notes. So, yeah. What? I'll take your poster. Okay, there we go. Yeah, see, it still has drops. Down to like 55, 56 like I thought, when it has its little stutters that it likes to have here and there. But most of the time, you're 60 plus. And it's definitely a much better experience than on the deck. This game does not really like the Steam Deck very much. Like, you can get like 80 FPS here and there, but then you also slow down into the 40s and whatnot a lot. Whereas this one, we've dropped down under 60 one time the whole time we've been trying this on them. Once we got to the same lower settings that we did on the Steam Deck just to get its best frame rates. It's defaulted to very high. That's just what this game does. I don't think it cares about what computer you're on. It just probably defaults everybody to very high. Some games are really good. Are you a bad guy? Yeah, you are.
Whoever came out this far.
Oh, there you are.
Wow, you crossed them all off, like some sort of heroic accountant running down a list. Teach me your ways. What? You mean Adelaide's little congregation of nature-loving nobodies? I could not possibly be less interested in them. You, on the other hand, you were a sight to behold. If I had half your skills, I'd be the greatest outlaw the coast has ever seen. I'm great at clarifying.
All right, cool.
No. I insinuated myself into their company, see? And they didn't seem to mind one whit. I may have bartered them a few boxes of Adrena time, but yeah, I'm sure that's got nothing to do with it.
Oh no, definitely not.
I got kicked out of Edgewater on account of falling sick with plague and stealing some medicine to treat myself. I'd heard some outlaws set up camp in the botanical labs. I decided to throw in with them, seeing as I always wanted to be an outlaw myself. Instead, what do I find? But a bunch of former workers camped out around a greenhouse. I couldn't just go back to the cannery, so I was stuck with them. I don't know. The vital processes that constitute the miracle of life are mysterious and unknowable. Oh, you mean around these guys? The Marauders wouldn't hurt me. They love me. I'm practically their queen. Yeah, it must be my natural charisma. I've got all the time in Halcyon. Why? Adelaide wants me back on garden duty or something? Thanks, but I'm not going anywhere. This is where I belong.
Alright, so it looks like I can't quite do that quest yet. I'm not strong enough. But at least we know where she is. So let's go try, same thing will happen, but let's go try to do that other dude's quest. Oh, they got me. First time I died, though, I think. Okay, that was a little wonky. Back to melee for a little bit and try that again.
Something you need? He's just interested in fixing stuff. He always used to follow me around, asking me to explain what I was doing. Like a puppy, kinda. I'm just glad he's alive. That he's okay. I mean, when Mr. Thompson said he was fired, we all expected the worst. If he wants to learn about engineering, we should help him get those data pads he wants. I'd like to do that for him.
Isn't that the place I've already been before? Well, who cares? If that's where the thing I need is, I guess we'll go back there. It's like it doesn't let you like move around right when it's first loading in. It's kind of strange, but whatever. I won't come across one of those anytime soon. Now we got 2 more volumes to find. I got skill points to do, but I figured I'd do that off camera. Although I keep forgetting. Alright though, I think that's probably good. We'll just continue this on the fire bat. So, let's go wrap it on up. Well, alright guys, that's a wrap for the Outer Worlds on the Ally X and Z1 Extreme, and it seemed to handle it a little bit better than the Steam Decks, that's for sure. It can't always stay above 60 even on 720p low, but it mostly does. Like, I think I saw it once or twice the whole time we were testing drop under 60. First, the Steam Deck, which was struggling to stay over 60 in some spots, a lot more. Though, it too stayed in the like 50s and low 60s quite often when you're having it on low, but there were certain spots like towns and stuff on the deck where it just fell flat on its face, even hit 38, 42, shit like that, where these things seem to be just fine. They might drop into the high 50s, like 55, 56, or something like that real quick, but that's about that. And that's perfectly playable on a little handheld like that, at least in my opinion, especially when you got variable refresh rate handling, helping you out. That's the one thing the Steam Deck lacks. I do like the OLED a lot more, but I do wish it also had variable refresh rate. But then it would be way more expensive, and then the Steam Deck would be not having the great value opposition it has at current. It might not be the most powerful, but it's definitely the best value still, at least in my opinion. But hey, that's all for this video though, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video, because I sure as hell enjoy making it for you guys. And until the next video, peace out, guys.